Right, guys, we're back again. It's December.
It's not December. We're 10 minutes after recording the last one, dude.
Well, half an hour.
No, but it's December for you lot. It's probably still as cold, if not colder, to be fair.
Yeah,
it's fucking
we
freezing.
are freezing our tits off here. He's woken up now.
Yeah, so's my lungs. We're now at the end of the year, the end of what has been a relatively miserable hash of a year, as every other year seems to go.
Yeah. Hope you guys had a good Christmas. I'm sure we...
Let's have a bit of coffee.
Yeah, I'm sure we had something.
Christmas is Christmas.
We had a Christmas. I hope you guys had a good Christmas. We had a Christmas.
We had Christmas. I can't tell you how that Christmas went because we
haven't
had it yet.
Yeah, we'll tell you in January.
We'll tell you in January how Christmas went. So we've got the usual sort of format for you, even though it is technically the end of year special. All we're going to do really is there is really a lot of slim pickings for both films and games, and obviously we're looking at the same metro as we were looking at.
So the stories might not be
so
as
the stories
juicy.
The stories aren't as new that you're going to hear, but they are still stories that you may not have heard about, and it might seem interesting to you. I don't know. I don't care. At the end of the day, I'm here to please myself. Apparently,
he does every day.
2018. It's been one of them years.
But now we're looking forward to the future.
We're going to be looking forward to 2019, which
is going to be much like 2018 with another digit on the end.
Yeah. There's going to be more big celebrity names die. There's going to be films released. There's going to be games released. There's going to be shit going on in the governments. So what we'll do is we'll try and lighten the mood a little bit.
And also, guys, keep your eyes glued to us, because over the next coming months, some interesting things might be going on.
Yes.
We'll tease them, leave them blue-balled.
We'll leave them blue-balled, yeah. There's going to be some things we've been talking about potentially doing, maybe not doing.
Yeah. Over the next
few months, so keep an ear out to see what's coming, because I'm kind of excited. It could go well and we do it, and it could go bad and we do it anyway. So so more from that in the coming months.
Yeah.
But now we're going to talk about film releases. Now, oddly this year there doesn't seem to be anything released January 1st.
I guess that's because there's still gonna be Aquaman in cinemas, Mary Poppins in cinemas.
It's very possible.
Bumblebee in I guess because the December releases will still be in cinemas.
But the December releases are like the 26th, Boxing Day, are they?
Yeah. So
there is like a week between the two dates. But
yeah, but I suppose because some people won't go and see them because they're still... Yeah. Some people will still be seeing family and friends and whatnot.
There's a few films coming out. There's not a lot coming out that I've heard of.
Yeah.
But there are films coming out. So there is a film coming out called Escape Room. Now this is screaming to me already, just reading the punchline, a little bit of like a Saw type film, apart from the fact that it doesn't use the word horror.
No.
In its description, it's described as a drama, sci-fi, thriller, mystery. Now, but it is called Escape Room. Now, we all know that there are apps called Escape Room.
Yeah.
And things. And this theory that you're sort of dumped in a location that you have to escape from is always an interesting subject.
Yeah.
And I think it could potentially be a good film. The main cast in it I've never heard of them. Never heard of any of those. In fact, or the director, relatively unknown.
I want to say I might have heard of that Logan Miller person.
Possibly.
If it's who I'm thinking it is. But yeah, basically 6 strangers find themselves in circumstances beyond their...
Yes, I think I know
Scout's
Logan
Guide to
Miller.
Zombie Apocalypse.
Yes.
We spoke about him. He
So yeah, it could be a good film. I
They
don't
find
know.
themselves trapped and must survive. You know, they must escape. So I think you still got. Oh no, you haven't.
No.
Yeah, Escape Room. It could be an interesting film.
Okay, and then we've got a rom-com coming out with Bryan Cranston, Kevin Hart, Nicole Kidman. Very big names.
Kevin Hart's been doing a lot.
Kevin Hart
recently.
is in everything.
He's
in every film. Every film.
Do you think he just gets sent a script and goes, "Yeah, I'll do it"?
Yeah, pretty much. This is a rom-com. It's a comedic look at the relationship between a wealthy man with quadriplegia, an unemployed man with a criminal record. The reason I'm saying
Who's hired to help him? Then he's not unemployed if he's been hired.
So
It looks
obviously
like
the main
Bryan
film,
Cranston.
film is going to be some sort of bromance type film between Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston. Evidently, Nicole Kidman is going to go with one of them, and the Juliana Margulies.
Yeah, it's going to be another one.
It's going to potentially be another love interest. But I'm saying rom-com type, not necessarily in the romance that you're thinking.
More like a
bromance, like a brom-com.
Yeah.
I've just invented a new style of fucking
I'm trying
film
to think
there.
of any other film that's been like where there's that. I suppose you could almost think Three Men and a Baby style, where it's more
Maybe.
the comedy is between the men.
I was thinking
and
this
there is
could,
that romance involved.
This could be a little bit like that. Was it The Best Man? The one with Kevin
Yeah.
Hart, where he was hired to be the guy's best man and actually became his friend, and they all became friends.
Or possibly a bit like those four people who always go to Vegas and lose one of them.
A Hangover.
Hangover. I love from that vague description. Yeah, it could also be reminiscent of that.
But no, I might give it a watch because I actually quite like Kevin Hart and his films.
I do. I've actually just gone through. He's got 3 stand-up things on Netflix.
Yeah. I think he's actually got 4 or 5 stand-ups in total, but only 3 on Netflix.
Yeah, well, I've just gone through the Netflix
But
ones.
all
And
of
can
his
I just say,
stand-ups
the
are
only
hilarious.
thing I don't like about his stand-ups, there's 20 minutes at the start that's like a mini documentary on him, and
Not always.
on
That's-
the 3 on Netflix there
Yeah,
are.
there's on one of them. What Now? That's not a documentary, which is on Netflix. What Now should be the skit with Halle Berry.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, there's that.
And then the one that I would say is the documentary is the one where he's back in Philadelphia and he's talking about where he grew up and he's showing
there's
you.
that at the start of one of them.
I
and
get
then
that.
there's
And
another
I
one
can't.
that's like it's more like a documentary of backstage.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah, they're the 3 on
they're
Netflix.
They're things that I think you watch the once, and then if you're going to rewatch the stand up, you skip
yeah.
that bit. But
I
think
just wish
that's,
they weren't so long
no,
because they're
but
like
he
20
does
minutes.
it. I think he does like the more documentary thing, like where he's talking about where he grew up, is because he's in Philadelphia. You kind of excuse that. The one where he does the skit with Halle Berry, I think that was just because he was at that point. He was becoming that sort of megastar.
Is that because that was around the time he also did like Jumanji and shit like that?
Yes, he was doing the big films, and I think that it was just that sort of skit to say, yeah, I could have Halle Berry as a wife, sort of thing. He couldn't because he cheats too much, but
he could, but they wouldn't last 5 minutes.
no, but
They'd
but
be one of
needless
those.
to say, for me, Kevin Hart he's a really funny stand-up comedian as well.
If they got together, they'd be one of them Hollywood couples that stay together for appearances' sake.
Be a Hollywood power couple.
Yeah, but they wouldn't.
Jay-Z, Beyonce type.
Yeah, but they wouldn't.
But they wouldn't be as powerful.
They
because,
wouldn't be faithful
No.
as faithful either. Anyway, moving on.
But no, I think
It'll
that
be a good
it
film.
should be a good film. Bryan Cranston, as we all know, can do both comedy and serious type things. So,
well, Malcolm in the Middle,
Breaking Bad. Yeah.
I rest my case, Your Honour.
Then we've got a Brad Pitt, Tommy Lee Jones, Donald Sutherland film coming out called Ad Astra. This is around about an astronaut travelling to the edge of our solar system to find his father and to see, what is going to threaten our planet.
Yeah.
I
think
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Basically.
You know what? I don't know why Donald Sutherland's just reminded me. What's it? Childish Gambino.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, he's supposed to be doing a new film at the minute.
That wouldn't surprise me. Donald Glover / Childish Gambino makes me laugh because I'm pretty sure after he said that This Is America was going to be his last song, and then he did Feels Like Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
all right, Donald.
Yeah, it's just like just do what you're doing. Just don't say you're going to stop when you're not. Then we're going to come to a film that I'm actually quite looking forward to.
This has been. I mean, when was the first one released? That was a 90s film.
Unbreakable was released early noughties, I believe.
But
I don't believe when they did Unbreakable, they were planning on doing this.
I don't think they were planning on doing this.
I think Split did really
Unbreakable was 2000.
I told you it was early noughties.
Yeah, you did.
The very early noughties.
And then its sequel Split was only 2016.
So 16 years later, and then 3 years after that, they're getting a sequel again.
I don't think until Split they thought of this. I think they thought
or maybe
they'll do Unbreakable.
Is it the same director though?
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan, Ding Dong. Yeah, he did Unbreakable.
So maybe he did have an idea he wanted to, but then it's taken 16 years for the superhero type.
Because when this
craze
was released, it was sort of the end of the 90s superheroes with your Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
And then it was also the start of the new genre of superhero
Like
with
X-Men.
X-Men. And I think that Unbreakable was a little bit before its
a little bit
time.
too early. Or too late if
or
you want to
too
look
late.
at it in the Batman.
I know, I think it was too early because
I agree with you, but some
because-
people are going to say it's too late.
Yeah, but I think it was too early, and the reason I'm thinking it's too early is because Unbreakable as a superhero film was a dark superhero film,
Yeah.
and that's where we're at now.
Like I say, you could have said too late with the original Batman film, the Tim Burton one.
Yes,
With
yes,
the-
but
with your,
I think as a concept, this film wouldn't have worked. But
either way, so you had
at the same
Unbreakable
time,
in the 2000s.
I think maybe it was deliberate. Because Bruce Willis is supposed to be the Unbreakable Man.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be unbreakable, but I think it's supposed to show you that even if he aged, he's still unbreakable. Obviously, James McAvoy's character, he may have decided wasn't old enough to be around at that time. And also he wanted Mr. Glass to have been in prison. By the way, we've not even told you the name of the film yet, which is Glass.
Yeah. We are talking
and
about Glass.
I'm telling you about all of the sequels and Mr. Glass, so it should have put it together. But anyway, I think that
Because Mr. Glass
is
was
in prison.
Mr. Glass was thingy, wasn't he?
Mr. Glass was the bad guy in the first film.
Yeah. What was his fucking? Who played him?
Samuel L. Jackson.
That's the fucker. So yeah, Samuel L. Jackson obviously was a guy who was basically he sneezed and he broke his neck.
got a condition which is basically brittle bone disease, but on a severe scale.
Steroids, yeah.
And he's basically before now he's fell downstairs down a subway and broken like every bone in his body.
And he basically tried to kill
He's
Bruce
on
Willis.
he's on one end of the scale. Bruce Willis is unbreakable. And he realised this after he started seeing these odd reports, a couple of odd reports, maybe one or two, of a man who was the only survivor of a building that burnt and collapsed.
Yeah.
And then he started causing accidents with him involved. So trains would crash, planes would crash, and Bruce Willis's character would always walk away without a scratch.
And then because he started when he asked his wife, "Have you ever known me to be sick?"
Yes.
And he'd never been ill.
Never been ill. There's an amazing part, one of my favourite parts of Unbreakable. He's there with his kid in the garage. And his kid just keeps loading shit onto the bars. And he just keeps, if anything goes wrong, get your mum. Whoa! He's still got it. And it's just like, oh my God. And you start to realise that he is unbreakable apart from water, which is his nemesis. He can't swim.
Yeah.
Which, every superhero needs a kryptonite.
Yeah.
Superman has kryptonite.
Kryptonite.
Batman has himself.
Yes.
Which is the underlying thing which no one seems to pick up on, that Batman's actual enemy and kryptonite isn't the Joker, it's Batman.
Yeah.
Because he's going against his own thing where he wants peace, but he's causing shit to suck.
So and then in Glass, basically the whole film is sort of like oh god, I can't remember the name of it. Basically, James McAvoy's kidnapped someone.
Yes, but at the same time, it sort of appeared to me from the trailers a little bit like Suicide Squad in the fact that they're they've got these people because Mr. Glass by this point, knowing that he's caused all these accidents, is in a high security prison.
Yeah.
The woman, not the woman, James McAvoy's character, who's one of them, who plays a woman at one point.
Yeah. Is it? I thought he had 2 women involved. He had the posh one, and I thought he had another one in his.
Yeah, but still.
Either way, he's got basically multiple.
He's got 24 personalities. One of them is a killer.
Yeah.
But he's also in a high security unit due to the fact he's fucking nuts. And I believe Bruce Willis is also in said high security unit. I don't know why.
No, because at the end of Split, he's in the cafe.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in.
Right. Okay.
Right at the end, he's in like an American diner.
Right.
And on the news,
But
is what's just happened.
Mr. Glass breaks James McAvoy's character out of prison and teams up with him.
Yeah.
And obviously Bruce Willis, being the Unbreakable Man, has got to save the day.
Yeah.
The point that they're trying to make here is the fact that also Bruce Willis, he's unbreakable, but one of James McAvoy's characters
Who you see at the very end of Split is not. It's almost not a man. It's a creature.
It's a beast.
It's a creature.
He basically becomes Beast from the X-Men.
Yeah, and we're not
without the
talking
blue
about,
skin.
We're not talking about Beast from the movies. I'm talking more the cartoon Beast.
But
he crawls on the fucking walls.
Yeah, and he can run on all fours at high speed.
Yeah.
So
and he gets physically
stronger.
You see his muscles grow in the film.
So this is basically Glass for me is.
It's going to be the end of
It's
this.
a new type of superhero.
It's almost
film.
Almost reminiscent of Watchmen, where they were. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Where they're not, because obviously in Watchmen only Dr. Manhattan was had powers.
Yeah.
Now these guys have powers, but they're still almost human. They're
Bruce
not,
Willis is still a man. If you shoot him, I'm pretty certain he will die.
No, he gets shot at one point in Unbreakable.
Yeah, but it depends on the size of the gun, surely. Nuclear warfare, mate, he ain't surviving.
Alright, but yeah, these are just beyond...
The chances are if you took a samurai sword and stabbed it through his heart...
almost the next step of human evolution.
Yes.
And actually, doesn't I swear Mr. Glass actually refers to that at one point.
Basically...
in Unbreakable, he says that you are the next stage of human evolution.
To a degree, this for me is like X-Men.
Yeah.
Because X-Men, they're mutants, they're supposed to be another stage of humanity.
Like Cyclops, he was nothing special except for his laser eyes.
Yeah. But of course
they only had the one ability almost.
But obviously in this it's not as widespread yet, or it could be more widespread than we believe.
It could. We don't know.
But
at the end of this we could have like 50 different
but obviously I am kind of looking forward to it because the cast is pretty good. Obviously I've not known Samuel Jackson to really make a bad film. I'm sure he has.
In his younger days, he did. I watched.
Obviously,
no, I'm not bastardising and saying the film where he's in a suit with John Travolta is bad.
Well, no, because Pulp Fiction's
Pulp
Fiction's a cult classic.
Around that time, he also actually did do a few stinkers.
Yeah. But no, Glass should be an interesting film. That's out January 18th.
That is one I'm definitely going to cinema to see because
it will be good.
It's going to be the pinnacle. What I think is it's going to be the end of the Bruce Willis, James McAvoy, we'll say trilogy.
Potentially.
But it's not going to be the end of this universe.
I don't think it'll be the end of the Bruce Willis thing. I think that if they do... Let's say they do branch it out to say that they do find other people with these other abilities.
Like one who can swim for miles or some shit. For argument's sake.
Something daft. The chances are is I would see Bruce Willis taking a sort of leading...
Batman, Martian Manhunter.
Or old man. You know, like you've got...
an Alfred sort of look out.
Yeah. What's the futuristic Batman?
When Batman Beyond, where Bruce Wayne
where Bruce Wayne becomes the advisor, old man Batman type.
So a Bruce Wayne, a Tony Stark, an Alfred Pennyworth character.
Yes.
That could work for Bruce, because Bruce, I love you.
But you're old.
You're not getting any younger. You're in the same... That's why you were in the first two fucking Expendables films. You're all getting old, guys. I'm sorry, but But no, that should be a really good film. I'm looking forward to Glass. That is what I'm going to see.
Right, now you've got a film called Serenity. Now, this film...
Sorry, it's nothing to do with Serenity, the other...
No. Okay, so this is a film with Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway. Now, this is a drama thriller. Now, this... I don't know, it's a really strange... like, the advert's quite strange for it, the trailer. And it looks quite mysterious. The idea is basically James McAvoy is a fishing boat. James McAvoy. Matthew McConaughey.
James McAvoy's in bloody everything now.
Matthew
He's
McConaughey
becoming the new Kevin Hart.
is a fishing boat captain who has a mysterious past. And his ex-wife,
Anne Hathaway.
is going to come to him asking him to take her new husband out into the ocean.
Who is Jason Clarke, I'm assuming.
Kill him and remove the body. But it looks like really sort of like it's going to be like a film you have to really watch to sort of like understand. And I'm kind of intrigued in that.
See,
I'm not a massive Matthew McConaughey fan.
I like the films where you have to... You know in Split...
Will you stop taking that fucking line?
Alright, sorry, it's force of habit. Here, keep it out my sight. You know in Split, apparently, there's a thing you can find online where there are moments... Because you know he's got all these personalities. There are moments where, literally for a second, he'll have his hand like that, like by his side. And then just for a moment, it will do this, and then it will go back to his side. But when he does that and puts it to the side, that's another personality, just for that moment.
Yeah.
And then it's back to his
Whichever personality's taking over.
And it's really cool to watch because you do see all 24 throughout the film. They all have a bit of a role for a moment.
Yeah.
And James, fuck me, you were brilliant. You did 20. The only way that could have been done differently would have been with 24 actors and actresses doing these.
Doing more of a Fight Club type split personality where you've got other people
playing the people.
Yeah.
But then the
cast list would have been so fucking big on that film and the budget would have gone
through the window. But with James McAvoy, and there's a thing you can watch, get online, and it's literally a timestamp list.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to... And one of the things they recommend is after you've watched it yourself a few times, bring up this timestamp list, have it on your phone, and as you're watching the film, when it gets to that timestamp, just look at James McAvoy and watch as he goes from maybe... And even subtle things such as he'll be shouting, so he'll go, how dare... And then he'll go, you, do this... And that you is another personality. And this is going to be another film like that you need to watch.
Yeah, and I'll outright say I've never been a massive Matthew McConaughey fan.
Neither. He's always been in those like chick
because he's
flicks,
always done the chick flicky type thing. And to be fair,
not that there's anything wrong with chick flicks. They're just not for us.
Well, no, I quite like some chick flicks, but
I don't like them. But
there's I don't know. He's just got this annoying type thing about him, but. In some of his more recent films, he's doing these darker roles, and he's not doing the rom-com type thing.
I think that's partly because the people who'd have done these films before, Bruce Willis, all of that, are leaving the film world slowly. Matthew McConaughey's getting a bit old to be the 20-something love interest, so he's filling the boots of your Bruce Willises and all that. And the new kids are coming up to
But
take
I have always been
a
big fan of Anne Hathaway.
I love Anne Hathaway. She's brilliant. And I wouldn't say no. I'm a dirty bastard. Leave me alone.
Yeah. And then we've got the last film, which I've never heard of, called Miss Byler.
Bala.
I'm going with like Bala or Byler. Gloria, I'm guessing, is Miss Byler. Finds she has a power she never knew, and is drawn into a dangerous world of cross-border crime. It's based on a Spanish film,
so it's another one of those like REC, which was Japanese, I'm aware, but it's like that.
But it could be quite good. I mean, there's a lot of these female-led action films coming out now.
I think.
And
Wonder Woman did a lot of good. When people heard Wonder Woman was going to be coming out at some point, I think a lot of other writers and directors went, well, for the most part, the only other strong lead in a film was Kill Bill with Uma Thurman.
But I also think that with rises of stars like Sandra Bullock, who's able to do some sort of action.
Yeah, and what's her name?
Melissa McCarthy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, she's done a lot for leading women roles.
The girl in the Fast and Furious films, Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah,
she's done a lot. Even to go as far as the Resident Evil films with
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, her doing. Don't get me wrong. Whatever your feelings on the Resident Evil films, that's up to you. But she did help.
I mean,
the
she was
strong
doing
female
actiony type films back with like The Fifth Element.
Yeah,
for God's sake.
She helped that strong female lead, and
now,
so did Wonder Woman in recent
there's
years.
a film coming out soon, unless it's already out. I could be wrong. Called Widows, and that's about the widows of these gangsters that all get together to do like a bank heist.
Yeah,
and
I think that's coming.
And that's got Michelle Rodriguez in it. The lady that put together the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, her.
Her, and there's another one in there as well. And it looks really good.
Also, I've just been watching the Amazon series The Purge, which is about The Purge.
Yeah,
you know, the film set. It's a TV series based on that, and there's a group of women in that who literally go around on Purge night, and if you need their help, like say you're a woman getting raped, because obviously rape is going to be a high thing on Purge night, because it's not illegal.
It's not illegal, yeah.
They go around and they kick the ever-loving shit out of men and help them, and it's a really good thing, like what they do.
Right, well
but
that's it for
guys.
Films. There is literally nothing coming out.
I'm hopeful for some of these ones that we haven't heard of, though, because the fact we haven't heard of them.
Yes. And sometimes they're the best sorts of films.
There's some like.
Pulp Fiction. What annoys me a lot is the fact that there's films that are released like in the States that we never hear of.
Yeah.
But they've got really big actors in them, and they're really good films.
And then they pop up on Netflix, and you're like,
they either pop up on Netflix or or any movie streaming site that you may use,
Amazon movies, or even on Channel 4 on Saturday
they
night.
pop up on the TV, or I don't know. You could be going through a shop and they've got a DVD section, and you see this film, you've never seen it, but it's got all these big actors in it, and you're like, how come I've never even heard of this? And you look at it and you think, yeah, that sounds alright, and you watch it and it's an amazing film, and you just don't understand why.
And then you're like, it was released in Chicago and fucking Cuba only on cinemas, and you're like, what?
But right, anyway, we're going to move into games anyway. There's not a massive amount, so we'll talk about
half a dozen.
There's a couple that we're going to mainly talk about, and we're going to give some honourable mentions to some others.
So the first one being released, believe it or not, so the last game released in 2018 is on the 31st of December, and that's Bass Pro Shops Strike Championship Edition.
And Cabala's The Hunt Championship Edition. They're both
for the Switch.
They are both gimmick games.
One's fishing, one's hunting.
That the Switch have created controllers for, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Because that is definitely a Joy-Con fishing rod.
Yeah.
And that is definitely a Joy-Con rifle.
Yeah.
So,
but they're the last two games coming out. They're on December 31st. Then you're waiting. Now, obviously, we're ignoring indie releases and releases we don't know.
And mobile game releases.
And all the rest of it. January 18th.
Yes. The middle of January. And there is only one game. And
Ace Combat
7. So if you're into your Ace Combat games and you're piloting games, you're going to be happy. I'm sure you will. But I'm not, because there's no games coming out at all. This is ridiculous. But we have noticed, and I have noticed over the last 12, 18 months, the game releases aren't coming as thick and thin as they were. But I think that's because I don't know, the AAA title is what all games are now aiming for, and they need to stop that shit.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to have a AAA game to have a good game. You really don't.
No.
Some of the best games out there are indie games, or the games that maybe started as an indie game and then have got enough backing that they've made it into, like, say, like a AA or an A-rated game.
Yeah.
And And I think that's how gaming should be.
I mean, there's a game, an indie game. It was released about a month ago, and it's called The Return of Obra Dinn.
Right.
And you can see from that little picture there, it's all in black and white. And basically, you're a guy, and you go on this ship, Obra Dinn, and there's been a mass murder. Everyone's dead.
Yeah.
And you use a magical time-travelling pocket watch that takes you to a freeze frame of time, and you have to see and work out what happened. And it's a really cool little indie game, and I've just opened a video, and go away phone. And it's really good, and we need more games like that, because it's different, it's cool, and I like it.
Yeah. I'm guessing...
I say it's been released a month ago. It's been released about 3 months ago now for you guys.
So yeah, there's then you've got one of the biggest anticipated games of the last 6 months since we
years basically.
Well, yeah,
since
but
the
a few
remake
years,
of 1.
but few years since the remake of 1. But I'd say
6 months since E3.
6 months since E3.
Yeah, since E3 2018. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Now there's more gameplay footage coming out now, and it looks so good.
It does, and do you want to know what else? It seems that they've almost got 2 games. There's Resident Evil 2 remake, which will be the faithful remake with updated combat and graphics and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But then there's also like a whole extra thing.
Yeah, but they've I don't know. The game looks so good.
It does. When you consider the old...
I really wish that they'd done this level of remake with the original. Because they didn't.
No, they just can't...
The
thing with
the thing is with the original, it already had a HD version.
They had the GameCube version, which they just built off of. This,
they've built from the ground up.
They had not...
They've done a whole... They've basically done the Spyro shit on this game. Now... Another annoyance for me is that it doesn't seem to be getting the PC release according to the game.
It is.
That's good.
It is, I promise you.
Because you know what? I'm getting so annoyed that all these games that I want to play are just coming out on PlayStation and Xbox.
Resident Evil 2 is also coming out on PC. It's coming out on PlayStation, Xbox and PC. There are talks, I believe, with the Switch.
Yeah.
But it is coming out on everything.
It won't... the Switch will happen.
Oh yeah,
the Switch. Every Resident Evil game ever has made it to a Nintendo console somehow.
But yeah, after Resident Evil, the only thing I'll say about this is I believe there is going to be a Resident Evil 3 remake, and do you know why I say that? Because then you will be able to get all.
Yeah, they'll do a classic collection with the remakes.
Because if they do 3, all 7 Resi games will then be available on Steam on your PC. And that's what people want nowadays. They want one console or one place where they can go and get all their games.
I mean, obviously, there's also
So I think 3 will get remade, even though 3 is the weakest of all the games.
The thing is with Capcom, and what Capcom have done, is they've not done what some of these other game developers are doing with their HD versions, where they're choosing games that they released, say, 10 years ago, and then doing now in HD. It's like, yeah, but
it was in HD, wasn't it?
But like they've you know what I mean? They've retexturized it.
I know what you mean though, but that's your question. They say this game HD, but you're going, but wasn't that game in HD? I swear to Christ,
and it's like, but that game was only 5-10 years ago, and realistically,
I've got stuff in my fridge older than that.
Yeah, and Capcom have gone right. Well, we'll remaster the original Resident Evil mid-90s. That's they're the game, because
80s and 90s games are what need to be
but the thing is though, you can't do too much with the 80s flat generation. Okay? You can do something, you can retexturize it, you can blow it up.
I'm not going back to like 81, 82. I'm talking 87, 88, 89.
Yeah, early 3D. But I think that because the 90s was the
PlayStation,
console generation.
Yeah, the PS1, the PS2, the Xbox,
even the Sega.
Yeah.
And I think they're the games that everyone remembers, which is why everyone keeps calling out for the original Metal Gear Solid to be remastered and remade. And they can basically just take the GameCube version and release it.
Yeah.
Because I play the GameCube version now because the graphics are well above acceptable for the age of the game.
So they'd need to do a bit of spit and polish.
They'd need to basically, all they
need.
need to do is recolorize it, and that's it. The script was already altered anyway, with new voices, so it's got HD voice recordings in there, so they don't need to redo that. The gameplay mechanics was taken and based off Metal Gear Solid 2, which in my opinion had some of the better gameplay mechanics of the Metal Gear series, so they don't need to fuck with that. Maybe tweak it a little bit, but nothing major. Other than that, they just need to re-release it. And these are the games like everyone remembers from the 90s: Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, and as we've already got those remasters now.
Rayman was another one.
Rayman, which I'm almost certain will end up happening.
Another trilogy of the first three.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that people will go, yeah, but you played those games. Why do you want to? Because
we've got nothing we can play them on anymore, short of emulation, and then
emulation or buying the old classic console,
which are harder and harder to come by as the
even if I mean, obviously with the release of the PlayStation Classic that came out December 1st, obviously, you know, you can now potentially, if you can find anywhere that sells PlayStation 1 games, which is now the issue.
Yeah. Because the disc got scratched.
Or a lot of what happened is most people, when the PlayStation 2 came out, they went and took all of their PlayStation 1 games straight into Game or Game Station or, you know, any trading shop, and they basically went, right, here's 50 PlayStation games. How much? All right, we'll give you 50p a game, and then you'd buy PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah.
That's how it worked. Because what you guys now, the millennial generation, don't understand is we used to own discs and then go to the shop and we would own those discs for maybe 2 weeks while we played and loved the game.
Maybe even 2 months. And don't get me wrong, there were the couple of games that you
would keep.
You know, Final Fantasy VII,
FIFA. You might keep the FIFA for the year
until the next
one. You might keep the wrestling WWF games out. I can say WWF as well because they were WWF games, not WWE.
You might keep those until the next one came out.
Until the next one,
and then we'd sell it.
And then what you would do, which you might find amazing because you know you digitally download all your games now. You would take this bundle of discs. And you would go into a shop and you'd go, how much? And they would look at your games and they go, boop, that one £2, sir.
Yeah.
Boop. We've got a lot of that one. We can only offer you about 60p trade or 60p trade or 30 pence cash.
Yeah.
Like, you could trade or you could get cash.
So you could either end up with 20 quid trade or a £5 cash.
The nearest thing that you guys have got now would be CEX.
Yeah.
Because you can trade mobile phones for cash or for other products.
I think they still do some games.
They do games. No, I was getting to that. They do still do games and DVDs, miraculously enough. But I think with the rise of the internet and services like Music Magpie, things like that, where you could box up all of your stuff and send it off and just get a check, or of course, the fact that games and DVDs, films, everything is digital now, and you download it all. Because of that, you don't really trade games anymore.
So what we do is,
you could buy a game at 40 quid. Well, it wouldn't have been that much. 20 quid when a PlayStation game came out, brand new. 20 quid,
25 maybe
to 25. That was more towards the PlayStation era. It started going 25. PlayStation 2 era. It started going 30 quid. But you would take this £20 game that you bought 20 quid 2 weeks ago. You played it, you go into the shop, they'd scan it and they go, right, we can give you £10 on trade.
Yeah.
So that's £10 to spend in-store credit. You can use it in-store. Or we'll give you £7.50 cash.
Yeah.
And you would never keep a game. Your game, I know some people, my uncle for instance, when he actually got rid of his PlayStation 2 and he traded it in for cash, he had over 150 PlayStation 2 titles. And some people did, they did keep their games. But a lot of us, we didn't want to keep mountains of discs
Well,
everywhere.
it wasn't even that. It was
we didn't
that
want to
we
keep
wanted
games.
the new games. And
Yeah.
Mummy wouldn't give us 20 quid every month to go and get a new one. So what we'd do is Mummy would give us a £5, and we go in with an old game and go trade in that, and then use it for this new game, and there's the extra £5
But of
cash.
course, also when you're in there, you can then buy the traded game. So you can be in there. You could be like, right, well, I'm buying this new game at 20 quid, but he's giving me 20 quid on trading. Mum's giving me a £5.
Yeah.
So then you go to the trading section, and then there's all these games that you've never even heard of.
£2.50, £3
£2 a game, sometimes 50p a game, platinum editions at 10p a game, and then you're just like, oh my god!
And you walk away with 20 games
and you'd
for
walk
two.
out, and you would have gone in with £25 worth of stuff, and you come out with what would have equated to 50 quid's worth of stuff.
And the best part is, you go back in a few weeks later and trade them all
trade it all in again, and
because you'd always make sure. Because sometimes they didn't like it if they had their old pre-owned sticker, so you'd peel
it off, and you would always peel off price labels on games anyway because you didn't want that. Because in your head, you thought they'd see that, and then they go, right, well, I'll offer you a little bit less than that or whatever. And it never worked like that because they had a database and they just scan it.
We didn't know
that. We just thought, well, if they see that sticker, I'm fucked. Even to the point that I think at one point when I was a kid, I went into, I think it was Game, and I bought, I don't remember what it was.
Whatever.
I bought this game that I thought I really wanted. And it was brand new, sealed, cellophane packet, the lot. Right? And then, I'd not long got a Game Boy Color. No. By that point, I think it was the Game Boy Advance SP.
Right.
That got, the flip up
Yeah.
one. Right? And then we'd gone out of game after I bought this lovely PlayStation 2 game or whatever it was. And then we went into Game Station. And then I seen Robot Wars on Game Boy Advance SP. And I'm like, I want that. But I've got no more holiday money left. I've just spent it all on this game. So then I'm like, right, well, I'll just trade this game in. And my mum's like, well, you can't trade that in because you've just bought it. I'm like, well, I can. She's like, well, if you're going to trade it in, you can't hand it in with the cellophane on. Why? Because I think you've nicked it from game.
But you got the receipt.
But I've got the receipt. Yeah, but you can't do that. But I probably would have got more money.
Yeah, you do. That's the thing. When you're older, you realise trade it in with. Because a mate of mine did that. He used to work at a phone shop, and what they did is they gave vouchers as part of the Christmas bonus. So he'd go to Argos, pick up a brand new game, nip across the road to CEX, cellophane receipt.
Yeah.
I bought it 2 minutes ago, mate.
Yeah.
And they trade, and he'd get more.
And he'd get nearly full price for it.
Yeah.
He'd get, cost price to them.
But so Resident Evil 2, it's going to be a fantastic
But Resident Evil 2, I'm really happy about a lot of these classic game remakes.
And that will be coming to the channel at some point in the future, guys.
But this is the point for me. If they're going to do it, I want it to be a remake. I want them to do what they've done here with Resident Evil, what they've done with Spyro, what they've done with Crash. Taken the game, keep the original story, the same, even the same sort of like, because if you look side by side, the animations are very similar.
Yeah.
But what they've done is they've completely rebuilt it on a new game engine.
Yeah.
So you've not just got retexturized, semi HD type quality. You've got quality.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to see. Right, so we'll move on now. That game, by the way, is the 25th of January, which is going to cost your wallet $44.99. But of course, you may get a January sale price in there somewhere. I don't know. Moving on, the next game to hit your wallet 4 days later is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, the one I'm most excited for. Guys, if you want to know about Kingdom Hearts, I've got it all on my channel. Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, Recoded, and a fragmentary passage are all on the channel. Jesus Christ, that took me a minute. Now on my channel, I have not put because there's 3 others. There's Recoded, there's X-Back cover, and there's another one that is no, it's gone. Another one. There are 3 movies that basically they were games. They've turned them into like cutscene movies for the PS4 releases.
Okay.
I've not put those on my channel because copyright. Because if I uploaded them, that's just a movie. That's not my It's not like a game where it's your own thing created from the game. It's just that.
Yeah.
So they're not there, but they are on YouTube. Go find them. Kingdom Hearts 3 is the end of what's called the Xehanort Saga, which encompasses all 9 of the existing games and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Right.
It's going to put that to bed. However, Sora, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, they're going to be back in a new title eventually.
Yeah.
But different bad guys.
Okay.
And it's Christ knows how long in the making. It's Final Fantasy meets Disney. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. For Christ's sake, you know by now. I've said enough about it. If you want to see what it's like, go watch on my channel.
They're console only as well, aren't they?
They are. They have been, up to this point, exclusive to PlayStation. And now they're moving into the realm of Xbox. Which, of course, purist fanboys are pissed about. Fuck off. It doesn't matter.
But, now, there is this lovely new thing that if you are a PC gamer with an Xbox account, you can play a lot of Xbox games through your PC.
Yeah.
But it's not the same quality.
Yeah. If the game's 1080, it's normally about 720.
Yeah. So, there is the way to do it so you can do it on PC. Obviously, the older Kingdom Hearts games...
They are actually... I believe a bundle has just or is just about to be released of all 9 for the Xbox One.
For the Xbox One. If you want to PC play them, obviously the older PlayStation ones will be basically abandonware now.
Yeah, they are. The only ones you can't get on PC for abandonware would be Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage, and Kingdom Hearts Coded. Let me just... Kingdom Hearts 2. No, not 8. 2.8. Right, 2.8. Thank you. Wikipedia. Dream Drop Distance. Dream Drop Distance and a fragmentary passage you won't be able to get on abandonware. Kingdom Hearts X, Unchained Key, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is technically... that's a cutscene movie, but the game in which it was released was an online MMORPG in Japan only.
Which is typical.
Yeah. So...
But you can basically get yourself...
Get most of them on abandonware.
You can get most of them as abandonware and get yourself a emulator and play them.
Yeah. Or they're all on this channel if you want to watch me play them, or if you've got the Xbox or the PlayStation 4 and want to play them, there are bundles out there to buy the whole series. And the last thing I'm going to say about this is there's a huge thing where there are loads of game reviewers right now not happy because they're going to review this. And people are saying, have you played the other games? No. But you need to get the story. And they're like, well, no, it's a game. It should be out to everyone. No, it's a Kingdom Hearts 3, so it's the third in the main series, but including all the side games, 9 other games. Fuck off. You cannot make it so that people are going to be able to play the third game and get the whole fucking story.
No.
Fuck off, you self-entitled twat rackets.
Yeah. Yeah, this is why... Because I haven't played any of the Kingdom Hearts
No.
games. So, they're games that...
Even 1 and 2 on the PS2 back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
So-
Fair enough. Whatever.
So...
But I'm not crying about it. There will
but-
be other people now bastardising him.
But what is really surprising to me though is the fact that they were never put on like GameCube or a Nintendo console, because there was this big thing where Nintendo, when the GameCube came out, they were trying to get licenses for PlayStation 1 and 2 games that they could put on their game engines.
Yeah.
And they did really well with it. And for me, the most unlucky failed console is the GameCube.
Yeah.
Because it's if you look at it, it's a powerhouse for its generation.
The problem is that it basically went head to head with the PS2. Because the PS2 was released...
Xbox.
No, because Xbox was released after that.
Was it?
Yeah. It was... The Xbox was the PS2 competitor technically in terms of a fair fight. But basically, you had
Well,
the game.
it wasn't a fair fight, was it? Because
but
they
yeah.
added things on Xbox you couldn't do on PlayStation, like upload your own music to your
Yeah.
Xbox and then play it in games.
Yeah.
You know?
But basically, with the PS2, when it was first released, it went head-to-head with the GameCube. The PS2 was far superior hardware, so it did much better. Then the original Xbox came out, and they had a proper fight. But by this point, the GameCube got pushed aside.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's been the PS3, the Xbox 360, the PS4, the
And
Xbox
then obviously,
One.
not long after that, they invented the Wii, which took over the segment of the games market that Nintendo has normally always held.
Yeah, that when the PS3 and Xbox 360 came out, when them two consoles came out, they forgot about people sat on a sofa playing together as a family.
Yeah.
And Nintendo went, money!
Yeah, well, the thing is the PlayStation 2 was that family start. There was a lot of games that your family wouldn't play together, but because the PlayStation 2 library was so vast,
Thousands and thousands.
There was quiz games that you could get consoles that were buzzers and SingStar and dance mats and all this sort of stuff.
That basically, if a game existed that wanted a PS2 attachment, it existed. You had a fucking guitar, a drum set, a fucking dance pad, a milking machine, a ray gun,
light guns, fucking all sorts of stuff.
Guitar, your nan. Your nan could be a fucking extra for a PlayStation 2 controller.
And the PlayStation 2 library at that point was so vast as well that.
I think that's why the PS3 took a long time to get off the ground, because when it was released, it was so expensive.
Yeah.
And there were no games. It had like 3 games.
Yeah, and obviously because obviously, people want that family experience with games as well, and Nintendo have always been able to do that anyway.
Yeah.
With their characters and the way that Nintendo do business, and I think that obviously they then jumped in and went, well, we can create a console that you are the controller. You want to do bowling, or swing the controller about. And I think that with the rise of the accelerometer technology and gyroscopes in your phones and stuff like that, and the miniaturization of it led to this console. And obviously the Wii became a staple of households. And like I said in the video earlier, in the podcast
a couple of months ago,
in earlier podcasts, the Wii is a console that I still own, and still use, because you can always whap it on. I mean, you don't need any games for the Wii other than the sports games.
No.
And realistically, out of the sports games, you want Sports Resort because it had more games on it. And there you go. I mean, you get your family round, even for Christmas. You can whap on the old Wii, get the controllers out, get bowling up, get archery up, and all have a game for a couple hours.
That was the thing back then, though, wasn't it? You might find that, take your typical family of 4. Dad's got his gaming PC, the daughter's got the PS3, the son's got the Xbox 360, but downstairs in that living room there was a Wii.
Yeah, there's a Wii.
And Christmas, New Year, you're all pissed.
And obviously we've touched on this.
Boom! And your controller goes through the telly because you've not put on that wrist strap.
And obviously we've touched on this before with the fact that the Switch is now doing the same thing again. Where they've created not only one you can play with your family, but you can literally be sat anywhere in the world now, pull out this console, turn it on, and play.
And go,
And you can play Mario Kart with someone on the other side of the world sat in a park
as well,
just like you.
It's not like a lot of other consoles. Like, if you want to take your PS4 round a mate's house, it's a chore.
It's a chore because it's
big,
it's clunky, you got all the cables.
If you want to take a Wii, even with its dock, you can put it in the dock, wrap the cables around it, stick it in a 5p carrier bag, and off you go.
And obviously with the Switch now, you basically a tablet-sized case.
Yeah.
Pull it out and boom, you're on your way. And unfortunately, that's the end of games as well, guys, because there is fuck all coming out in January.
The only other game coming out in January that we haven't said is Quart Infernal Machines. I have no idea what it is. It's a PS4 exclusive. Thanks. Good for you.
I don't want a Black Friday. All I want to know about is the game.
No, it's just telling us about Black Friday.
Okay, so now what we do
is we get on.
I feel that we're going to have to talk about this game because there's 4 games coming out in January, guys.
And it's not... We're speaking about the other 3. It's not fair on Qua.
We've got to give Qua a chance.
We have. It might be shit, but you know what?
It could be Quasimodo and shit.
It looks like...
The fact that the first website is PlayAsia,
PlayAsia.
so it's obviously a Japanese game.
It's a turn-based strategy game.
There we go. I want some images.
It looks like a mobile game that where you build your forces and fight them against each other.
It's got like a. I don't know.
It's another XCOM type.
Yeah, but I think
but a bit more.
It's got that older, early noughties style,
cartoony graphic.
type feel to it. But again, I don't know. It looks like a game that I could potentially sit and play, but at the same time, that's Rainbow Moon, so we're looking.
We're looking at the wrong thing, right? But yeah, it looks like no, it isn't. Okay.
Well, no, because the graphic style is different in this one.
It's still got that cartoony noughties graphics.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like a mix between another XCOM game and another sort of where you build your forces and fight them against each other.
You're going to be force selection. Building up a massive army.
It's like where you send your foot soldiers and then you get the guy with the...
It's basically going to be a battle simulator.
Yeah. It's one of them.
More than likely.
There you go, Qua. You've had your
not for me, thank you.
You've had your 30 seconds of fame. But yeah, guys, so that's gaming.
That's gaming.
Again, not a lot
to talk about there, unfortunately, guys.
That is all the games for January. We're serious.
4 games.
Ignoring any other indie games that are coming out that are pumped out by the 100.
4 main game releases. 1 for PC. I'd imagine Ace Combat will probably go PC.
Yeah, but as far as we can tell, 1 for PC.
1 for PC.
And nothing for the Switch.
Which is odd. But then again, they are getting 2 big releases for them. With
so they're probably banking
on New Year's Eve. So
they're probably banking on people buy them
January sales,
and then that'll be it.
Yeah.
That'll see them through till February where they've got some stuff. But we'll talk about that next month, guys. So news time.
Huh?
What? You're in February?
No. But look at
well, all right then.
Game. If anyone from game.co.uk is listening, please go to your coming soon list and fix Overkill Walking Dead release date by year, please. Because you've
apparently
put it in the past.
Yeah, apparently it's coming out February 8th, 2018. So I need a time machine.
It's been out already.
Yeah. Go and buy it.
I
know the beta's been released.
I am just going to say, because these games are all coming out on the 1st of February, and they are all basically the same game. From the same sort of series. Warhammer 4000 Adeptus on PlayStation. Warhammer 40,000 Deathwatch on the Switch. And then Space Hulk on the Switch. So there's your Switch games. They're just coming out on
a couple of days later.
A couple of days after
To be
January.
fair, it makes sense, because why would you compete with Resident Evil and Kingdom Hearts when you know that's what people are going to buy?
Yeah, but at the same time, why not release some games early January?
Yeah, I guess no one wants to compete with Bass Pro Fishing.
But we've got a couple of games to talk to you about in February.
And going forward, they'll add.
Going forward, there's going to be obviously other games that we'll find out about. We can only tell you that there's a few games dated up to sort of March and April that look relatively good that we'll probably talk about.
They'll get given dates and come out, and the website will be updated, and they need to change some of these to be coming in 2019, because a lot say 2018.
Say 2018.
Game, get on your thing. They're coming in 2019.
And there's probably a few of these now that have already been given dates.
Yeah.
Actual dates.
So they're probably just waiting for a bit of an update.
Obviously, big games for next year because it's the end of the year special, so we can talk.
There is going to be Death Stranding.
Coming out at some point,
and a proper Pokemon game on the Switch. Basically, from what I've understood about this, is they're no longer Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon have come out. That's it for the DS.
For the DS.
So what I'm thinking is, hear me out. They're going to release this. This is basically going to be Pokemon Red and Blue,
right?
And then what I'm going to guess is periodically there will be... This is all a guess, by the way. There'll be DLC that will add in the next
But I'm guessing
region.
that they're going to use the same sort of mechanics and engine from Let's Go.
No. This is going to be more the mechanics and engine from the games. The Game Boy.
Yeah, but aren't we all done with the top-down view of fucking Pokemon?
Oh, the view, no, that view has gone since the DS.
No. What I meant is like the sort of first-person view of the Let's Go Pokemon sort of thing.
Well,
is it first?
No, it's third person.
Well, third person, sort of view from over shoulder, not like bird's eye view.
With Let's Go, the camera is dynamic in that it changes depending on what. So sometimes it will go for a top-down view if, say, you're down a tight alleyway.
Yeah, but that's what I'm on about. Like the Pokemon games of the GameCube era.
Yeah,
is what I'm on about. Like that. Like Pokemon XD, because Pokemon XD on the GameCube is basically a normal Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Apart from the way that you catch Pokemon.
That's the thing with the Let's Go. The Pokemon Let's Go is a non-Pokemon game except for the way you catch them more like you do in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, no. What I meant by the way, because with Pokemon XD, the Gale of Darkness, the way that you catch Pokemon is you have a Shadow Ball collector, and basically you throw Shadow Balls at Shadow Pokemon from other trainers. Right. So you steal Pokemon that have basically had the Pokemon essence drained from them, so they've become like battle machines.
Right, yeah.
Pokemon on the Switch is going to be a game that I think we've all been waiting for.
What I'm saying is
a modern Pokemon,
the original Pokemon games, and then
with the RPG
go
game
through the
story,
campaign, and then after a few months, they'll then release an update which will add Johto, and then after that they'll add a new one, and you'll basically you'll pay £55 for the original game. And then you'll spend
£20-30 every 6 months to 12 months for a new region, which will then access the next generation of Pokemon. But you will, I'm guessing, move your character by plane to this new region
or boat or whatever.
More than likely boat. Actually, you'll get on a boat, you get to the new region, and then you'll then basically start the game again in the fact that you'll end up in the first town, which will be with a professor of that town.
What they'll probably say is...
And you'll do more gyms and leagues.
What you'll probably have is you can keep a Pokemon. Like, with Ash in the series, you could keep Pikachu throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, but Ash did keep others. But
what I'm thinking is in the game, they'll say you can have one, and then you'll start again.
See, I would think what they would do is they'd say choose maybe a Pokemon that you want to keep to begin with, but all your other Pokemon will be sent to Bill's PC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And you'll be able to access them
in Kanto.
And like you'll be able to access Johto's in Kanto, and you'll be able to bring over a Taurus into because all the Pokemon did still exist in the new regions.
You'll be able to do older into newer, but they'll sort it out. They know what they're doing. They're good at this.
Yeah, basically it'll be.
But I think you're going to start.
But
with
you'll
the
also
originals.
you should also get things like online trading.
Probably will.
So instead of having to, the old stuff and get the cable or the infrared sensor...
You can with Let's Go. If you've got a mate who's got... Because Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, you can complete the games within themselves because you can trade from your Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
But you can also... So you've got... Say you had a friend in France who had... You had Let's Go Pikachu, they had Let's Go Eevee. You can sit at home and trade over the internet.
Yeah.
But you can also... Because obviously people with Switches do meetups a lot. You can just stand next to each other and use the infrared.
Yeah. But obviously it will mean that now when it comes to... It'll be almost like that. It will almost be like a transfer market where you'll be able to go on and you'll be like, you need a specific Pokemon to fill up your Pokédex
Yeah.
for a certain region, you'll be able to trade it in
What
and
they
go
will-
to a market, and someone will go, right, I'm offering this Pokemon. What have you got to
I
trade
think what
with
they
me,
need to
whatever.
do with that is they need to be careful that there aren't going to be online,
Auctions and shit.
not auctions, but like, you know, the buy CSGO skins,
Yeah.
where you will go on certain websites and you can pay £10 and someone
Yeah.
will trade you their Tauros for a fucking
Well, the
Caterpie.
easiest way of doing I suppose.
You know what I mean?
But that will happen anyway.
Mm.
That will happen anyway.
But what I'm saying is, Nintendo need to keep an eye out for markets
Yes.
like this, and the second they see them, shut them down.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, that's that, and
Last
of Us Part 2's coming next year as well. That'll be a good one.
Neo 2, if you're a fan of the Neo
Cyberpunk
series.
2077, CD Projekt Red's next brainchild,
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
which apparently is EA's last chance.
Yes.
Or they are
Hopefully
going to
that'll
get
make
Mickey
it-
Mouse slapping them with his
Hopefully
big
that'll
black
make it to
bollocks.
PC as well,
Mm.
to be fair.
But we'll see.
The problem is when we're looking on game.co.uk, it doesn't always tell you if it's going to be PC or not, even if it is.
Yeah.
Gears of War 5 is also confirmed for next year, and they're just going with Gears 5. So that's something to look
Another
out
Wolfenstein
for.
game.
Another Doom, Dying Light 2, which I really, really, really can't wait for. I really enjoyed Dying Light. I thought it was going to be a game that I was going to either really like or just turn off and really hate.
Yeah.
And I really liked it.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So, that's something else coming out.
But yeah, so
there's a few games that we already know that are going to be coming out and that you will hear us talking about in
the
the
Game
new year.
Awards are coming out in December, so no doubt there'll be
We'll be doing
announced releases there.
And are we doing our Game Awards stream on Twitch this year?
I haven't talked about it with the missus. We can if you want.
Well, we did it last year.
Do you want to do it again?
Yeah, we might as well.
Alright, so we should have announced this in last month, so what I've probably done in last month is put a big banner up at some point.
Yeah, so
Saying
this is the
tune-
problem with pre-recording for Christmas.
Actually, when will this be released? Because No, it would have been in last month. I'll have to have a word with the missus. I'll get hold of you tomorrow.
Yeah,
What, are you working tomorrow?
I'm not.
You're not? Right, I'll get hold of you tomorrow. And we'll talk about it. Right, anyway, so yeah. I hope you enjoyed the
Metroid
stream.
Prime 4 for the Metroid fans. That's going on Switch next year, apparently. Sonic Team Racing. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So that's getting a comeback for all three major consoles.
Yeah, next year.
Next year. This is just letting you know some shit that we know, because to be fair, we realised gaming this year.
It's had some bright sparks,
Yeah. But it's been slow, and that's what I can't believe. That's happening.
Minecraft meets Ark.
Yeah, ridiculous. Dead Island 2 also next year, and it's going to be one of these games that everyone should be looking forward to.
But I'm holding with bated breath.
I'm holding with bated breath as well, because Dead Island was amazing, and then Riptide was a bit sort of.
Let's be honest, it was bag of wank.
Riptide should have just been a DLC,
Yeah, it should have been.
basically. But yeah, and you've also got Days Gone next year for PlayStation
And
peoples.
Rage 2.
And Rage 2. So yeah, there are a lot of good games coming out next year that have already been released. There'll be loads of games that we don't know about yet. Devil May Cry DMC 5, just because I was going to tongue tie, but yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there should be some good games that we can talk to you about next year. Metro Exodus will be another one. But yeah, so we'll move on to the last part of this year's podcasts.
The end
Of this season.
Yeah.
So
So the first one. Now we are like.
by
we
the
said,
way,
we are
this is the last one of our year. This will have gone up by the time you hear this. But we are currently at with Metro. Not worse. Metro are currently at 135.6 million shares. That figure, if you go back to our first podcast, has risen massively.
Yeah.
and it's just showing you that the Metro's never always the most well put together journalism, but it's truthful, and that's why we like it.
Yeah. So the cheapest house in the UK is on the market for £1.
Now, this isn't the first time this has happened. There have been houses before now that have been sold by councils for £1.
Yeah.
Normally what they do when they do this is there'll be a whole street of houses that have basically been left to wreck and ruin by the council because they've not had the money to do it. They get a bunch of people that want to buy these houses, they'll put them on the market for say £1, and these people will come in, but then the council give them 6 months or 12 months to turn the houses around, and they have to either live in the house for so long, or they are told, if you're not living in it, we want to know now so you can sell it, sort of thing. But this is a little bit different because it was auctioned off by a private company, so you can actually just live in this one,
or rent it out,
or do whatever.
So it's been fire damaged,
so and obviously it's been condemned. So that means that it's going to cost a lot of money to get it up to scratch.
But due to it, you don't have to pay your council tax. Obviously, you won't be paying water and electric or gas because there ain't none.
No, but of course
that means you got to buy a Jenny.
You won't be paying council tax until the house is in a livable condition, and then you will pay council tax, because once it's in a livable condition, you'll want your bins collecting, you'll want your street lights working. But it's going to take money to get there. That's why it's being sold for £1. It's going to cost you more money with the fact that it's a terrace.
Yeah, because you've got to worry about neighbours.
Yes.
He's standing up. Oh, I heard that. Was that your spinal?
Yes. Yes, it's a terrace house, which means you've got the issue of neighbours, which means that you can't be doing... Well, you can be doing lots of building work, but at the same time...
Noise has to be kept to a reasonable level and...
At all times. It will cause problem.
But to be fair, they might also like you because they won't be living...
Next to a burnt house.
Yeah, next to a shell.
But yeah, I mean, for me, it's a good idea if you've got the money to develop property. It's not something that I would say you would be buying as a first-time buyer to do up.
Mummy and daddy are rich.
Yeah. For me, this is something that someone's going to buy if they've got money to get a proper development team in, or already experienced property developers.
Yeah, you will be a property developer buying this.
You know, there's a reason that houses like this do sell, and it's not just because they're for £1 either. It's because there's the potential that you can make money on these properties.
Because to do it up is never as much as a fully done up house.
The average house price in this area is £67,000. Okay, I know that. I've read it earlier when I was flicking through. Because that's not on the screen. That's why I was telling him. He's probably looking at the screen going, how the fuck's he know that?
I was.
So, 67 grand. So, if you
could
buy...
say 70 grand.
So, say 70k, right? That's if you're doing it up to a modern day standard. You could probably get this house up and running for, say... I would say, play devil's advocate with me, 50 grand. Okay? And I don't think you'll spend that. I don't think it's going to cost you more than 40.
I think you could get this house up and running for 35, so you could double your money.
But I'm going to say 50 because it is being burnt out. There is the potential that you may need to actually just completely knock down what's there
and start
completely again, which could raise your costs up for the demolition and removal, because you've got to remember that this brickwork in this house is going to be linked into the brickwork into the next house.
Yeah.
So... you know, there is that potential. But I would say at the top end, I would say 50k, maybe 60. But even then, you're still looking at a potential of a £10,000 profit.
Yeah.
And
if you rent it, you will easily make.
See, if you rent it, the rental market there is probably it's £67,000. It's probably not all that high. Probably around the £400, £500 a month. so your yield on that is only going to be what, like 10% a year?
Yeah, but even so, if you
Or probably not even that, probably 8% a year.
Well, even so, say it takes you 7 years to earn your money back, or 8 years. Even so, you could make a good chunk on this if you know
and
what
it's
you're doing.
Leeds as well, because it's Ellen Road Stadium that the auction's taking place.
So Leeds.
It's West Yorkshire. So the rental market in there is nowhere near as high. So,
but you come back your money.
You could make some money on it. For me, I think it's an investment for buying, doing up, and selling.
Yeah.
Personally, but of course, the housing market as it is, you never know. But keep your eye out if you are looking to get on the property ladder. There are the opportunities out there.
You can buy, basically, guys.
I mean,
there's
been schemes. There was actually
a
TV series recently, and it was actually a film scheme. The TV crews got involved, but the scheme was run by the council, and the council sold the properties for £1 and then gave you a grant
to do
the properties up. But you had a time limit. You had 6 months and 15 grand to do the house up, which is normally more than doable. But then you had the opportunity to live in that house after. So,
and also, guys, that you got to remember there are if you are wanting to get on the product, don't be worried about going for
the potential
the 30 grand, 40 grand house and putting in 10 grand over a few years and doing it up. You know,
and there are now a lot of I know a lot of people say it's really difficult to get a mortgage now, and it is. I'm not saying it's not.
No.
But there are schemes out there now to
help you.
Not just government-led schemes which don't work. There are schemes out there that do work.
Yeah.
Banks offer them now as well to try and get you on that.
Apparently, Barclays have a really good one at the minute.
To get you on that property ladder, and
banks want you to buy a house because that odds are you're going to buy the house, you're going to do it, you're going to live in it, and then you're going to sell it, and then you're going to get another mortgage, which means more money for them.
Yeah.
So of course they want you on the property
Or of
ladder.
course it means that you get the mortgage on the house, you then pay your mortgage off, say 25 years later, then you own that house, and then all of a sudden you're going to remortgage it because the house may have gone up in value. Yeah. You never know. But yeah, I think that you should always look out for this sort of opportunity, because if you've got the money to do something like that, you know, I mean, there's houses that not necessarily go for a pound, but there are properties out there that in auctions go at hundreds of pounds, not thousands. And you even with 10-15 grand, if you can get that as a loan, you could potentially make 10-15 grand profit.
And most banks will give you 10-15 grand for a house. They won't even sneeze at that.
Yeah,
because that's a low for a bank. 10-15 grand is a low risk investment, or not a medium risk.
Yeah. Sticking with money.
money.
Apple is rumoured to be working on a cheap product. See, this makes me laugh because all Apple products are cheap products that they inflate the price massively because they put the Apple logo on it. And the reason I say that, and I know that's going to earn me some haters, and do you know what? I don't care.
No. I love iPads. I think they're the better tablet on the market, and I've got nothing against Mac computers. But I agree with you.
Yeah, now, I've got a lot against iPads. iOS is my main flaw there. I don't like the Apple...
Although you can't argue they won the tablet wars.
They did win the tablet wars, but at the same time, because of the expense of them, I would always buy an Android... Because I can get pretty much similar functionality out of a £60 Android tablet.
Oh, I agree with you what you're saying. I think the thing is...
And obviously there is the potential that you can go into the £100 market and start getting your Galaxy tabs.
I think the main thing is that with the iPad you get a lot more apps because more people develop for iOS.
Yes, but
either way, so they're working on this cheap product.
But I've got the major issue I've got with a lot of Apple tech is how locked up it is. You don't get that with other platforms.
No.
Linux is possibly the most customizable operating system on the planet. I think
some people, the issue they have with Galaxies is a lot more bloatware.
Yes, of course, but then again, Apple has
not as much, but
but they do have bloatware, and Apple openly admits that they send updates out that slow and diminish the battery life of your tablet.
They've been told off for that now, haven't they?
They've been told. They're still doing it though. They just said in the news recently the new update will slow down.
Yeah.
All they've done is they've been told, right, you're in trouble because you didn't tell people that this
It's
would happen.
doing it, yes.
So now they're telling you it will happen, and people are still going, yeah, but I love Apple Tech. I love it. What? So you're happy with buying and replacing something every 6 to 12 months because the battery life is told to die by the company you've bought it from? Yeah, I know, but I just love Apple. I just love Apple. And that's how Apple people talk. And you do talk like that. It's true. Right?
But there are times, don't get me wrong, if you're using like a Mac for your right purpose.
Can you pass me that bottle of water that's by the side of you?
Yeah, of course I can. If you're using your Mac for a purpose, that's fine. I admit there are times a Mac is needed.
Right, I get Mac for GarageBand.
Media production.
Yeah.
We'll say media production.
GarageBand is
Logic.
And Logic are really, really good, well put together apps.
Do you know the only time I'll say if you want to get into music, I will say buy a Mac. Now hear me out. Because
no, I agree.
And the reason I'll say this is because buy a Mac, it costs you $2,000. Yeah?
$2,000 if you're dumb and you buy a brand new Mac from Apple.
Yeah, let's just go with that.
£300 to £600 if you buy yourself one from 2013 that has an i5, i7 processor in it on Facebook or eBay.
All right.
So if you're going to buy a Mac, buy a smart Mac, buy an old Mac, buy one from eBay because it will still work really well.
Let's go brand new here, yeah? So you spend $2,000 on the Mac and then you buy Logic. I think that's about the £600 mark.
Yeah.
You get everything you need with Logic. You get all these plugins, everything else. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Then you know better than me. How much would you spend on an equivalent PC to what Mac are currently offering? Roughly.
£500?
Maybe $1,000.
No, about £500.
All right, so you spend $500.
Because the most expense is going to come from the processor. I could buy the i7 processor now for, 200, 300 quid. There's your money. Case, 20 quid. Motherboard, 60 quid. You don't technically need a graphics card.
But if you want one.
But if you want one, another 60 quid, right? Have you noticed I'm not even at £500 yet?
Cool.
So, power supply, 30 quid. You're done. RAM. But then
Currently,
again,
that's a bit more expensive because of the Japanese fire.
But if you're smart, you'd buy a brand new motherboard bundle, which comes with 8 gigs of RAM, a processor, and the motherboard, 350 quid.
So 600 quid.
No, 350 quid because you've got your motherboard bundle.
Sorry, and then, my bad.
Yeah, so 350 quid, and then another £100 on top, most, for everything else. And then obviously most people have already got a TV, so you don't need to bother about
let's just say
monitor.
you buy the monitor, so 600 quid tops.
600 quid tops, but my guess is that, like I say, most people have got a TV, okay?
I'm going with you're doing this as a new business startup, so you would want to buy new.
Okay, right. All right, so you buy yourself a new monitor. You don't necessarily need to buy a gaming monitor at a couple hundred quid. You could buy yourself a cheap shit TFT monitor for doing...
Well, all right, so you spend 600 quid on that, right? Then you buy the base of Pro Tools. So for a Mac, $2,500 you're done. You buy the base of Pro Tools because you can only, if you want something to work on a PC and it's good, you want Pro Tools.
Pro Tools, Fruit Loops is still.
Fruit Loops is good, but
but Fruit Loops is still widely used.
But if you want high end,
Fruit Loops costs a fucking arm and a leg anyway.
But you want your high end, you go Pro Tools. That's another $1,000.
Yeah,
and that's your base product. So, 1,500. We're still $1,000 away from a Mac, though, with Logic. Yeah. Then you're needing to buy all the plugins. Bear in mind, Logic comes with these plugins. And you say you don't need them. You will eventually. Because Pro Tools, as its base thing, is a glorified Audacity.
Yeah.
And each of those plugins, because with Logic, anyone can write a plugin for Logic. It's actually one of the few times Apple open up their software. Anyone can write a plugin for Logic. With Pro Tools, it has to be Pro Tools done. And you are spending £50 minimum for base plugins. So all these plugins, 1,500 quid, you very quickly have mounted up a
massive
grand.
Amount, yeah.
So if you want to make music, buy a Mac and Logic. But anyway, so what's this cheap product they're supposed to be making anyway? What the lighter?
No, my light. I know where yours is. You've got it. But
Yours was in that drawer, I think.
No, they don't work.
Oh.
I had a purpley one, I think.
So, okay. So basically, Apple TV is 150, Amazon Fire Stick's 25, and Google's Chromecast for 20 quid. So Apple are basically believed to be making a cheap version of their Apple TV.
Do you know what? The
to
Chromecast,
rival with this. The HomePod.
The Chromecast is a good piece of kit. Okay. Mainly because it's Android based, so anything can connect to it.
Yeah.
Amazon TV is great if you've got an Amazon Prime account, which if you don't want to spend another £80 on top of your TV package a year.
Yeah.
You're not going to buy.
No.
So you're not going to buy the Prime TV stick unless you pay for Prime and that's your main TV centre. Because I ain't paying £80 a month for my TV and my internet.
Yeah.
And then spending an extra £80 a year on top of that to watch a couple of shows.
Yeah. See, I use Prime because of the Twitch integration.
See, Prime would be fine if I bought a lot of stuff from Amazon.
See, we do, but you don't so much,
do
you?
I don't really buy anything from Amazon. I do buy some things. I do have an Amazon account, and the only thing I do use on there is Kindle Unlimited, and that's not for me. That's for the missus.
You know, if you do want to use Prime, I've got your address on mine. You can just send me a message, and I'll just whack it through for you.
Yeah, but I don't buy anything.
No, but I'm saying if you need something,
but
you can always just pop us a message.
But for me, that means that the Chromecast, because it's an Android-based system and it's so much more easier, because then you can stick Netflix on it, you can stick Vivo on it, you can stick whatever you want on it.
Yeah.
It's a better piece of kit, and it's cheap. It's cheaper than the Fire Stick as well, because the Fire Stick you've got to spend £25 out on top of your £80 a year for the first year, of course. Obviously, once you've got it, you've got it. But Apple TV, I don't know. I don't think it's worth £150.
But they're bringing out a cheaper version of that apparently. So let's wait and see. But
it won't be very good.
I agree with you that the two you want are always going to be your Fire Stick or your Chromecast.
Yeah.
Because like with me, £80 for the Amazon, because of the amount of shopping I do on Amazon and the amount of time I use Twitch and all the rest of it.
It makes sense.
Exactly. So that 80 quid,
but the average...
if I spent the money on Amazon and not had Prime, I would easily spend £200 extra.
Yeah.
So I'm saving 100 and odd quid.
Yeah. Whereas with myself, I don't use Amazon that often.
What people need to do is they need to look at their personal situation and say, is it useful? If you use it, by all means get your Fire TV
And I'm not being completely funny, but the fact that Prime shows always end up going to TV anyway, what's the point? Just wait. You know what I mean? Just wait.
No, like I said, it's up to you guys.
But Apple doing a cheap product. Apple always do cheap products, just inflate the price to make you pay more because of the Apple logo.
And they're finally just not going to do that, apparently.
Maybe. But cheap to them. Rumoured. But from 150, cheap to them, we'll go, well, look, mate, we've done it at £75. It's half price. That's half price of the old one. That's cheap.
I'll still go and buy a Chromecast or a Fire TV stick.
Yeah.
So,
to be fair, go and buy a Chromecast and put the Prime TV app on it.
Fair.
And then you've got a better functionality.
Anyway, moving on. Now, why is this still happening in this world? I'm pissed.
Yeah. Parents threw out a teen and all of her childhood toys because she was gay.
You pathetic fuckers. You should not be parents.
I mean, it's completely wrong. I'm not going to try and justify it, even though it's going to sound like I'm justifying it. I'm not. I think it's abhorrent. But her parents, I'm assuming, are from a different generation, okay, that were brought up themselves to believe that's how you treat people. Okay? And I understand that everyone goes, yes, but everyone should now understand, everyone from that time are now old enough to understand this is how the world works now. Once you get to a certain point in life, you don't change.
No.
You stick to your ways.
I agree, but it is still wrong.
I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying it's acceptable because it's not acceptable. But when they were born and they were being grown up. You got to remember, being gay back then was a crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're assuming this anyway. These guys could be just a.
I don't think we know that she's 19.
So they're going to be.
So they've got to be at least twice her age.
Well, what's the youngest you can have at 16?
Normally 14 to 16.
Say 16 they had the kid, so she's 19. So they're going to be 35 at minimum.
Yeah. 35 minimum, 40.
Which I doubt they're 35.
So no, it may not have been illegal by then, but it was still
frowned upon.
It was still frowned upon, it was still looked down upon, and that's how they were raised to look at it.
But anyway, basically what happened is her parents found a photo of her and her girlfriend, said drop out of college, go for conversion therapy. She said fuck off, and they threw her out.
Yeah, she was left homeless with just 20. Of course, she went to GoFundMe, and she's soon raised 100 grand, so she's set for life.
She's alright now. But
do you know what? I might do a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
See if I can get the world to pay my debt.
I want to see if it's... Go up a bit. I want to see if it says... the parents' response... She's already moved into a dorm. With hate. Aggressive text blaming her, and they even dumped all her stuff and left her home, such as baby pictures, old clothes, childhood toys, into the trunk of her car. She works too...
Yeah. It's disgusting what her parents have done, though.
The girl also works 2 jobs to support herself, then faced being barred from competing for her college because the National College Athletic Association has rules banning students from accepting donations.
But they've since updated the rules so she can because of the situation. Because when they wrote these rules, you got to understand...
Where did the ashtray go?
I've got it here. When these rules were written, 99.9% of kids who went to college had mummy and daddy giving them money. So I'm glad this place have changed, but I'm sorry, the parents, fuck you. Fuck you in the arse. Both of you.
Okay.
You're disgusting. Go away.
A Dine and Dash dater who left 10 women to pay has been jailed for 4 months. Basically, he asked
over
women
the course
out.
of about 2 years.
Yeah, he asked women out.
At least 10.
At least 10. Did a runner on those 10 women.
After he basically spent a lot of
money. He would dine out on steak and shrimp.
Which aren't cheap.
And
because I'm guessing good steak and good shrimp.
Well, the thing is, if you say that you go out and have a $25 steak, shrimp at, say, another $25, $30, because they do charge quite a lot for good quality shrimp over there. And then double that for the missus,
and then add a bottle of champagne.
Then add a couple of bottles of expensive wine. You are going to get up to the £744 region, $950 region, quite easily
with 10 women. Yeah,
with 10 women.
I mean, what's that? $100 a per?
No. This is per date.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fuck me. Guy had expensive taste.
Gonzalez was sentenced to 120 days in prison and banned from using dating apps and websites. Yeah, like they're going to be able to police that.
The only way is they'll have to keep track of him for life and monitor his IP connection.
Apart from the fact they can't legally do that.
Unless they've got a court order.
No, they can't do that. It's an invasion of his human rights and privacy. So no judge would sign it.
It's America.
No judge would sign it. I can guarantee it'd be unconstitutional for them to sign it, so they wouldn't sign it. So even if they did, they'd do it illegally. And someone as smart as that is more than likely going to have a VPN service. So even though he's connected, they ain't going to see what she's doing anyway.
Either way. One of the victims did make a joke that he'd still not be paying for food in prison.
Which is very true. She'll still be paying for his food in prison.
Yeah.
If she works.
He looks a bit of a pretty boy prick.
Yeah. Apparently he's got a master's degree, but it doesn't say in what. It doesn't say in what.
No.
Dating.
But yeah, he took off, left her.
One meal. She was left to fork out $130 for a meal when she realised he wasn't coming back. That was $163. This is American, but I'm
when she went to message him on the app, he blocked her.
And then lots of women came forward to say that he'd done the same thing to them. He was also given 3 years probation by the judge in LA.
So if he fucks up again after he gets out, he's got 3 years.
If he does it again, he's fucked. He'll go.
He'll just get, yeah. And now the last one of the day. And why?
Do you know what? There was another one of these.
I think we talked about it, didn't we?
No, there was another one of these. I think it was yesterday. That was the 21st of November to me and him, but to you guys, whatever.
About 2 months ago, whatever.
About
a month ago.
About something similar. Apart from this isn't the story we're going to talk about. This is one I'm just sort of tying in with it. A 6-year-old girl was left in a car with her baby brother by the dad. I don't know for how long. Not for very long, I'm assuming. But long enough. Because the 6-year-old girl strangled her baby brother with the seatbelt.
Oh?
And killed him because he was crying. And the dad has now been sentenced for child abandonment.
Good.
Yeah. I would have added manslaughter to that charge.
Well, fuck a doodle do. Anyway.
This is actually children that are a bit older. I was just...
Yeah, it's related.
But 16-year-old boy stabbed brother to death over fight.
Over TV remote.
Because of a TV remote. The 16-year-old boy has been arrested for stabbing his older brother to death. They were reportedly arguing about which channel to watch when the boy, identified only by his initials because of his age, BK, went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife and fatally wounded his 18-year-old brother. This happened in Turkey. I didn't think it was going to be the UK for some reason. I was kind of expecting it to be...
his brother identified as... The victim was rushed to the hospital where he later died.
I was kind of expecting it to be Russia.
His younger brother was detained by police. It's not the first time that a teenager has died following around about TV preferences.
A man was stabbed to death in Cork prison in Ireland after a death after a fight with a fellow inmate in 2015.
But yeah, you shouldn't be. Why stab someone into TV remote?
It doesn't make sense why you would do that.
You're 16, not 3.
Yeah. I'm going to end this with a funnier story.
Because he's just found one.
And I don't want to end our long-ass podcast. Long-ass podcast.
We made up for last month.
It's the end of the year special.
Can you imagine people sitting around eating their Christmas...
start of the year special.
Yeah. Can you imagine people sitting around eating their Christmas dinner listening to this? Mum, can we put on this new podcast I found? Of course, honey. I'll put on the latest one. Fuck! First word you hear out.
Parrot
Sorry, Mum.
Parrot tells firefighter to fuck off after getting stuck on a roof. This is just the best story to end a year or start a year with.
Whatever.
This was middle of August, so this is one that
is old.
It's old, but it's actually only just surfaced on Facebook. So this was basically a parrot had gotten stuck on the roof. I'm guessing it can't fly or can fly enough, but was worried about going down. And basically, it's obviously been taught how to swear, and the firefighters got up there, didn't recognise the firefighter.
After the RSPCA and the owner tried to help.
And he got told to fuck off. And I think that's just brilliant. That's just classic macaw parrot behaviour. I love birds that can swear. Because they're not supposed to swear. But we're naughty people. And we teach them to be bad. And I think that's...
made it clear that it won't go... I assume they eventually got it down.
They did get it down, yeah. By the looks of it, he managed to coax it over with some food
or
and
water or something.
Eventually, to be fair, I would have taken... It looks like it's got a bag or a blanket there. Yeah. So once the bird was close enough, just chuck it over the top and pull it down.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's been 2018. God, we've had some...
2018.
We've had some escapades.
Yeah. 2018
2018's been one of those years. I
It
kind of, with the length that we've gotten to this on this podcast, I kind of want to round it up for the 20 minutes.
You want to find something else to talk about?
I just want to
20 minutes.
chat for 20 minutes because, do you know what, right, guys? We're at 1 hour and 40 minutes, which is a long podcast
It is
for us
long.
anyway. But it is an end of year special.
It is. I tell you what. Oh no! Don't open that.
I kind of think we should make it to the 2 hour mark just because we have been talking anyway. And why not?
Yeah. I tell you what. I've got an idea. Hold your horses. I've got an idea.
This could end up one of two ways, either good or bad.
You'll find out next time. Right. So I'm going to look at all our old tracks, and I want to know. By the way, this is episode 37. So.
Oh! Whoa! 1 minute.
Whoa!
I think I watched something recently. The Meg. We talked about the Meg.
We did. I believe that was last time because it was the same one as the Crumbs of Grindelwald.
Yes. I've watched the Meg.
Oh yeah. Any good?
It is passable. Right. Watch it.
Right.
Okay. Because it is Jaws. Right. I'm not even joking. It is Jaws. All right. It's been out long enough now that I am going to talk about it. I don't care. Spoiler alert, if you've not watched it and you really are desperate to watch it, whatever. So, the whole idea is that the bottom of is it the Mariana Trench?
Yeah.
It's not the bottom. Instead, this group of scientists have convinced this billionaire to spend like $1.8 billion on this underwater facility.
Right.
So they can basically launch submersibles, and what they believe is go through the bottom of the Mariana Trench. They believe it to be a gas cloud of like sulfur.
Right.
Okay. So they then send out this team in this sub to go through what they believe to be the bottom. They believe that the bottom isn't the bottom. So they go through this gas cloud and they drop into this unseen world of like coral and fish species and stuff that they've never seen before because it has existed underneath this sulfur gas and nothing could get out because of it.
Yeah.
And the Meg is attracted to lights, and of course this submarine being piloted by humans is covered in bright flashlights to see the ocean, and they get attacked. And then obviously they get attacked, and Jason Statham is a professional sea rescuer, and he goes into subs to rescue people. The last job he was on, he had to make this decision to abandon two of his teammates because he knew that if he didn't, they were all going to die. Because this ship was being attacked by something, and everyone didn't believe him, and he knew that it had been attacked by this Meg.
Yeah.
Right. Or at least by a big something. So he retired forcibly.
Right.
Then they bring him back because he's the only one that's ever rescued anyone from this particular depth.
Right.
So they brought him back for that reason. So he then goes down to rescue this team that were attacked by the Meg down there. One of the guys sacrifices himself and blows up and causes this massive vent of hot air and hot water to shoot up through the sulfur cloud, which is how the Meg gets out.
Okay, now.
Okay. And then they do the whole Jaws thing where they catch this big shark, which is Meg-sized, but they catch a big shark, and then they're like, woo, yeah, we've caught the Meg, woo, look, let's take pictures of it, all this sort of stuff. There's a funny bit where he tells him to stick his head. This guy really wants to selfie with the shark. He's like, and then Jason's like, yeah, go on, put your head in it because it's dead.
Yeah.
He's like, go on, put your head in it. Go on, do it. Yeah. Closer, get closer. And then someone's operating the crane thing that it's on and turns its head. There's a guy like shits himself. Really funny. But then the next thing you see is the real Meg jump out and grab the thing off the boat.
Oh.
And then they realise that the Meg's not dead. And then it goes almost like proper sci-fi because they've got like these subs that are like, I don't know, they're like almost Thunderbird type things. And then they eventually, Jason does this thing where he uses his ship to kill the shark. He flips his ship over, uses one of its wings to slice the shark up, then explodes the sub in its mouth sort of thing, and then survives because
It's Jason Statham.
But yeah, it's a film I would say watch, but don't have high hopes.
Right.
But it is watchable.
I've just been going back through our old podcasts.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, sorry. With the Meg, you will, if you like whales, a baby whale and a mama whale both get eaten by the Meg, and they make it pretty obvious it's going to happen because they introduce you to these whales and name them.
Right. So, do you know what our first podcast we talked about?
No.
Soma and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Jesus, that was a long time ago.
It was.
What was that?
I can't tell you because I'm on SoundCloud and they were the re-uploads. You'll have to give me a few minutes, but it was an interesting. Then we did Halo 5 and Transporter Refueled. That was shit. That were Transporter Refueled. Yeah. Okay. Episode 6, The Force Awakens spoiler.
Yeah, mate.
We'd been to see it and then we came and recorded. It was episode 9 with the Deadpool. Episode 8 actually is our longest ever one. Episode 8 we did 3 hours and 13 minutes and 6 seconds.
But that
Far Cry Primal and Ride Along 2.
Was that when we was doing?
That was when we did a live one.
Yeah, we used to do Twitch streams.
Yeah.
And talk over us playing Twitch streams. But we stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Because it was just
no one turned up.
It was too. Yeah, but not just that. It was too much work.
Yeah. Episode 9 was the Deadpool special.
That was a good film.
That
Still
was
a good film.
Episode 12 was one of the first proper ones we did that lasted the longest. That was nearly 2 hours. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and I've just written many movies because I think that one we just had loads of good movies.
We started off picking a film
and
a game, and it got to the point where there was too many good films and too many good games coming out that we just had to sort of talk about more than just that.
Yeah.
Which is why the podcast inevitably started getting longer.
Episode 18, Dickhead Developers.
Yeah.
God, I remember that one. We just spoke about Dickhead Developers and what they should and shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Episode 22 was the EGX 2017 special. Good God. That was an EGX.
Yeah.
I'm just going through some of them. We had Far Cry 5 and Ready Player One, Avengers, Infinity War, and God of War. A lot of war in that one.
Yeah.
What did we have? E3, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp. That wasn't too long ago.
No.
It didn't seem like it, but it was. And we had EGX 2018. But yeah, I'll have a look when that first one
actually was.
Yeah. How am I going to do this? There we go.
I mean, obviously we've got a few loyal listeners.
Yeah.
We'd like that number to be bigger.
Always. It wouldn't.
You know, I've noticed that some of our earlier ones on the tube have not got as many listeners now.
No, but the SoundCloud is picking up.
That's good.
So
so SoundClouders get sharing because, you know, we did say at the start that we've been talking about doing other things.
Yeah.
Together, obviously. And they would be podcast related. And
yeah.
And we want to do more podcasts. So if you've got any ideas for us, let us know.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for when episode 1 was?
I'd imagine it's like 2015, 2016.
Yeah, July 2015, the 25th of July.
July 2015, eh? It's a long time ago. That was 3 years ago.
It is. So, what was the news? One of the news stories.
And if you're wondering why there's such a leap in the episodes, it's because there was a
between end of 2015 and mid 2016.
I had shit going on. He had shit going on. There was too much shit going on for us to get through that shit.
Yeah. We were still talking. We actually spoke probably more then than we do now because we needed to talk about the shit, but we couldn't bog you guys down with our shit.
Yeah. So we took the time to just think, right,
deal with shit.
We'll deal with shit and then try and come back and give this more of an attention.
Are you ready for this then? Crazy Japanese show involves giant brown bears
I've seen this.
pushing people around.
We were talking about that, mate. Yeah.
Fucking hell. It was called Seikai no Hatimadi Tikyu.
Yeah.
And it was a prime time show. That was one of the first news stories we ever spoke about. Good God, what else was there? Woman plans to marry her dog after ex-husband a cat dies.
So, as you can see, the Metro has always been a reliable source of bizarre information.
99-year-old great-grandmother told she's pregnant and hospital blunder. What else was there? Horrifying things said in maternity ward that'll put you off having kids for life. And the last one we spoke about was... Ouch, this is what happens when you rewire a Nerf gun for extra firepower.
Let's see if we sound any younger. Go on.
You want to have a...
Let's...
He will now be Bruce Willis's
Yeah,
character.
he will sort of carry that on. I mean, to be fair, let's hope that if
I think Die Hard's done.
Die Hard was done after Die Hard with a fucking vengeance, mate. They should... Keeping the F-bombs coming since 2015.
We ain't fucking changed, have
No,
we?
of course we ain't. Fucking...
We were too old then to change. We're even older now, so
yeah,
bollocks to you.
bollocks to him, yeah. But you know, we've still got 10 minutes to go, so we're gonna keep chatting shit because I think this year has been full of shit.
It really has.
And I'll be glad when it's over. I'm looking forward to hopefully a better 2019.
Yeah.
I
I'm not going to
believe.
hold my breath. I'll go blue in
No,
the
I'm
face.
not going to hold my breath either. I think there's going to be some. I'm hoping some better highs in 2019.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Because to expect the whole year to be a high is
One
childish.
thing we never mentioned in last month. Poor Stanley.
Oh yeah, Stan. Yeah, I feel really bad now.
Yeah, we didn't mention it but we were rushed last month, guys. We had an hour to record.
An hour to record it. So yeah, Stanley, you know, we are always going to miss you. We're happy that we've been told
Over half of this podcast throughout the months, half of the podcast time has probably been
with Marvel
in game or movie or news. So to not speak about that's actually a bit bad on our part. We apologise. But because of Stan, half of this podcast exists.
Yeah. I mean, we both have a great love of Marvel.
He's wearing a Marvel shirt now, ironically.
Yeah.
I don't think he even realised when he put it on.
No. You know, I mean, Marvel is... it means a lot to a lot of people, and it should
I mean,
do.
we grew up in the 90s. It was our childhood.
You know, I mean, obviously I can remember watching the Spider-Man cartoon
Spider-Man,
series.
X-Man, Iron Man, Hulk.
You know, and then obviously that's continued on, and the comics have gone... They had a small
dip.
time where they dipped, but everything dips, you know. But they came back with such a boom with the live action series.
Well, I mean, even as bad as it was, the original The Hulk, it was bad, but it was still good.
It was bad because the Hulk wasn't really in it.
Yeah.
But
it was still good. You know what I mean?
But that was the precursor to trying to get people to see if they wanted Marvel films. And then, of course, once we started
did because there was the hype around it.
And then, of course,
all the merch.
And then once we then got the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, and the Avengers Marvel Cinematic Universe was born.
Yeah.
You know, that's gone from strength to strength to strength to the point now we're at where we know that the next film potentially with Infinity War Part 2 will be more than likely, if one fan theory is correct, because it seems to tie well with what's going on and with hints dropped in previous films.
Yeah.
That we will potentially be losing Iron Man and Captain America in the next film.
Yeah.
As a sacrifice to save the universe. And I can see that happening. I really can.
I mean, the next film, because the last one was Ant-Man and the Wasp in July, which again we spoke about. The next one we're not going to be talking about it till February's podcast. So
and of course we're talking about Captain Marvel, which is they're doing that because obviously she's been called to come fight in Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
So obviously they need to introduce her now. Because there's going to be people out there that don't really know Captain Marvel, don't know her backstory, don't know that she's, you know, like the most powerful
one of the most powerful in
the universe
in Marvel. And then, of course, we still don't know the name. We have the Avengers film in May.
As far as we know, it's basically Infinity War Part 2.
Yes, but they're not calling it that anymore.
No, but it is Infinity War Part 2.
And then also, we've got a Spider-Man Far From Home coming out in July, which will be the next Spider-Man film. But, yeah, you know,
but,
Stan, you gave us so much.
So, yeah, but, of course, we do know that Stan has pre-recorded.
He's done loads of, like, basically what he seems to have done is gone in front of a green screen, said lots of shit, and put on lots of different costumes.
Yeah, which I think we actually said we talked about this in a previous podcast. We hoped that he would do that, and it's been confirmed he did.
He did, yeah.
So I'm really happy about that because his cameos are a staple in the films. Whether you like them or you don't, they are a staple in the films. So, you know, I'm glad that they're going to continue at least for a while. You know, I mean, it is pretty bad about the fact we didn't do it in the last podcast, but I'm happy to. We've got 5 more minutes. I'm happy to continue to talk about Marvel because I could talk about Marvel all day.
Future films come in. There's a Black Widow film, Guardians of the Galaxy 3,
which will be brilliant. The soundtrack to that I can't wait.
The Eternal, a Black Panther sequel, and a potential Blade.
Is Wesley Snipes going to be doing it? He probably won't. He's probably too
In
old.
May 2013, The Hollywood reported that Marvel was working on a script for Blade. In 2015, Wesley Snipes, who portrayed Blade in 3 films before, stated the character's rights reverted to Marvel. Before the character's rights reverted to Marvel, said that he had discussions with Marvel to reprise the role. That is it.
Hopefully, it will still be Wesley Snipes because he is Blade. Because even with the Blade TV series, the dude that got to play Blade in that, I didn't associate it as in being Blade.
Yeah.
Blade is Wesley Snipes. He was so good at it that it's almost impossible now for anyone else to be Blade. I suppose we'll get that when they choose the next Wolverine.
We'll just expand the universe in general.
Yeah.
There's obviously also there was meant to be the Inhumans film,
which became a TV series that flopped
after 1 season,
and that's because they ruined it.
The guy who runs the film side, Fige, said, we're not going to talk about any specifics for the Phase 4. We're not going to talk about characters, as there may be spoilers in earlier movies of what will happen. So they know.
Yeah, but this is why the thumb theory...
We've got... basically, he said, we have a lot. But what he said is, was not sure if Marvel would continue to group the film's phases. So we've had 3 phases now, which is basically the end of Phase 3 is the end of the Avengers. End of the Avengers quote.
End of the classic Avengers.
So there may just now basically be a Marvel universe of films. So that, you know,
that will still work.
Yeah.
And they can always do crossovers.
Exactly. If they get any of these, any Marvel hero can have a film, and then at some point in, you know,
because we already know Black Widow can basically pole up in any film.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, so, but the fan theory that the one that's gained a lot of weight at the moment is one that's saying that
Stan Lee's a watcher.
No.
Oh, I thought you were on about that one.
No. The one that's gaining a lot of traction at the moment is basically that Tony Stark and potentially Steve are going to both travel back in time.
Yeah.
To the first Avengers film.
Right.
And intercept the Tesseract.
Right.
To stop Thanos getting the stone.
Right.
And then take the fight to Thanos in his weakened, before he's got any of the stones in the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Because his first stone was the Space Stone out of the Tesseract. They're saying that then, that will be their sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it will reset the universe so the click didn't happen.
Yeah.
The universe didn't, half the universe didn't die. Spider-Man is alive to be able to do his film, which is coming out. Literally, like, the same month, isn't it?
No,
or
2 months later.
2 months later. So
We've got March to May to July.
but they're saying that that's the theory that they're going along, and they're saying the reason that they're saying it is because there's hints.
Yeah.
Watch Age of Ultron. The thing that Scarlet Witch showed him,
Yeah.
Tony Stark, in his brain, when she was messing
Yeah.
with his mind, that was a vision of Tony going back to 2012, falling from. But the dead superheroes were all in their 2012 dress.
Yeah.
There's also been a lot of things where they've shown footage, or there's been footage
Yeah.
sort of leaked that shows Chris Hemsworth with 2 eyes and long hair as Thor. So they're saying that what it's going to be is that they're going to go back in time, re-recruit the Avengers
Yeah.
with the Space Stone, and go and fucking kick the shit out of Thanos and stop it from happening.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
It will be interesting, but for me, that seems to be because I always said that they're going to do the classic Marvel reset the universe, but it was how they were going to get there. But they reckon that they've been dropping hints pretty much since the first Avengers film on how it's going to go, and obviously it means, the theory's pretty much being plastered all over Facebook a lot, so you'll definitely come across it. But if you read it and then you look at where they've taken their conclusions from, it ties together so well that it's almost like they've basically just gone to Marvel and gone, what's happening?
About that because I read an issue with it, and the only issue is one thing. Remember when we got the first Marvel trailer, and it was all of them charging at the army, and we never got that.
Right.
Do you know which bit I'm on about?
Yeah.
That was confirmed by one of the people that's actually in 2.
Yes, but they've still got to get back in time.
Yeah,
the whole film's not going to be going.
But some of the people who were there are dead. Are now dead.
Yeah, but if you go right, but what they're saying is that if they go back in time and fight Thanos prior, he's not going to have the Space Stone anymore, so he's not going to have the full gauntlet because they can then re-hide.
We'll have to see what happens. Basically,
Of course, we'll always have to see what happens
because Marvel are sneaky bastards.
They are.
Some of the theories, they've been fantastic theories, and you've just watching on. Nope, you were wrong.
Yeah. No, but it is gaining a lot of traction, and the way that obviously I don't remember the whole thing.
Yeah.
The things like fucking 6 paragraphs. It's too much to fucking read, but it's a really good theory, and it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that when the time comes, guys. But Stanley,
rest in peace, and thank you, good sir. You deserve a rest. To be fair,
he does. 95 years. Fuck me. We're not living that long, mate.
And that's the end of 2018.
That is, yeah.
The next time you hear us will be January 2019.
Yeah, this is the end of season 4.
The end of this season. We will see you in the new year.
Yeah.
I hope you've had a nice Christmas.
Hope you have a good new year.
Hope you have a good new year. Happy New Year.
Goodbye.
Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa.
Bollocks to you. Get off.
Everyone else.
Get out of here. Go and enjoy your time. Bye, everyone.
See ya.